The Boston Bruins are set to host the Winter Classic at historic Fenway Park. Ian McLaren of Locked On Boston Bruins joins us to discuss that and all things about the NHL's hottest team.
You're Locked On NHL, your daily podcast on the National Hockey League. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to the Monday edition of the Locked On NHL Podcast. Gil Martin, so glad you could be with us today. And thank you for making Locked On NHL your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. It is my pleasure to welcome back to the show Ian McLaren, the host of Locked On Boston Bruins. And Ian, we were just talking before we started recording. The Bruins are a little off, and I'll put that in air quotes. They're 7-0-3 in their last 10 games. How good is this team right now?
I mean, they're so good that even when they're not playing their best, as you said, over the last few weeks, they're still picking up points. And Saturday's game against the Buffalo Sabres, probably one that they should have had. They were outplayed Buffalo for the majority of the game. Buffalo's goalie stood on his head. But they still managed to get a point in the overtime loss. And, put it this way, they're so good that the Carolina Hurricanes went, I believe, 12-0-1 in the month of December. And they're still, I think, 5 or 6 points behind the Bruins. And the Bruins have games in hand. So, you have to be near perfect to top this team at the moment. And even when they are quote unquote slumping, they're still picking up points, which is just making it that much more difficult for anybody to try and catch up with them.
Yeah, very impressive. And still have not lost at home in regulation this year, 18-0-3 as we're, halfway through the home schedule. We have the Winter Classic coming up. Mm-hmm. Will playing at Fenway be a little different, or do you think the home ice advantage will still hold for them there?
I mean, certainly it will be a bit different. They'll have the crowd on their side. The atmosphere will be obviously pro Bruins, but you just never know with playing outside. It's obviously not the same as having, the stands kind of all around you. It's a bit more spread out. There's different factors like wind and sun and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of more of a level playing field, literally, when it comes to the Winter Classic, playing outdoors. Not necessarily a true home game, especially when you consider the fact that, Fenway Sports Group owns the Penguins. So literally it's the Penguins playing in a baseball diamond that's owned by their ownership group. But still, it'll obviously be a pro Bruins crowd, and not the same as playing in TD Garden. So it's kind of hard to count the record the same no matter what happens. But they'll still want to put on a good show for the home crowd, especially considering the last Winter Classic that was in the Boston area. They lost to the Montreal Canadiens at Gillette Stadium, where the New England Patriots play. So they'll definitely be looking to put on a good show and come out on top here against the Penguins.
What does it mean to Bostonians and to this organization to be playing at Fenway Park, one of the most famous and historic ballparks in the world, really?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's huge. I don't think you can undervalue how much this opportunity means to some of these guys. We saw Patrice Bergeron come back for this season, and he admitted that the opportunity to play once again at Fenway was huge for him. David Krejci returning from Czechia. These are guys that had the opportunity to play in the other game at Fenway back in 2010. That was the year before they won the cup, obviously, but it was part of their upswing. And I know a lot of these guys want to make good on this opportunity for Bergeron, Krejci, to give them, as many positive memories in this season as possible. And for the young guys as well, some of these guys will be playing in their first Winter Classic, their first outdoor game. Just to be surrounded by so many Bruins fans in this outdoor environment that brings back a lot of memories for these guys playing on ponds growing up. It'll certainly be a special experience for sure.
No question about that. Got to ask, there were so many Bruins who are having great seasons, but David Pastrnak seems to be on a completely different level right now. 25 goals, 50 points in 36 games. What has been the difference in this season for Pastrnak, who was already playing at a very high level?
Yeah, I mean, for the entirety of the 2022 calendar year, he scored 57 goals, which was up there with Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews as the most prolific goal scorers in the NHL. Last season, he got off to a slower start, which is completely understandable because he and his partner went through some personal tragedy, losing their infant son. And that took a toll on him emotionally, physically. And before New Year's last season, he only had 8 goals, and then he went on to score, I believe, 32 over the remaining stretch, 25 to start this season. And obviously, his impending unrestricted free agent status plays a role in this. He's playing for his next contract. As much as he would say it's not at the front of his mind, that has to play a role in it. And he wants to be compensated among the top players in the league, and he deserves to be as well. So I think another part of it is just the depth that the Bruins have at their disposal. The ice is a bit more opened up with, they have the luxury of playing Taylor Hall on the third line right now. Pasternak's on the second line. And with their defensemen getting a bit more involved in the play as well, it just opens things up for everybody. And he just, whenever he has the puck, it looks like he could score on any given shift. He's been that good this season. And hopefully he keeps it going. And hopefully he and the Bruins can come to an agreement here on a multi-year contract to keep him in Boston for his entire career.
He would certainly get some pretty impressive offers if he were to hit the
for
open
sure.
market.
Yeah.
With the outdoor game, do you think the Bruins will approach it any differently stylistically as a game plan?
I don't think so. They might, if the conditions are not great, then perhaps they'll, make less stretch passes or things like that. But I think these guys, they always seem to approach every game the same. They're very even keeled, and that's a credit to the leadership group. I think the message will just be enjoy the experience, kind of keep it simple, play your game, and, don't try to put on too much of a show where you're kind of coughing up the puck and causing some odd man rushes the other way. But keep it simple and help everybody kind of go home feeling good about the experience with 2 points. And most importantly, everybody staying healthy as well.
Always a key. Ian, why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners where they could find the podcast and where they could find you on social media?
Locked On Boston Bruins is available on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find it on YouTube at Locked On Boston Bruins. And you can find it on Instagram, Twitter at Locked NHL Bruins. I'm at Ian C. McLaren.
All right. Ian, always a pleasure. Happy New Year to you.
You as well, Gil. Take care.
Today's episode is brought to you by Athletic Greens. Our next partner has a product I literally use every day. I started taking AG1 because I'm not a great pill taker, and I wanted to be able to take something that didn't involve taking 5, 6, 7 pills a day in order to get the nutrition that I need. So what is this stuff? Well, with one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging, all these things. And it's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, while still tasting good. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.